starting with number 13, which, funny enough, is actually fully illegal to skate in. And I'm going to give myself 1 minute for each one as not to dawdle this video for like 45 minutes. So let's start with number 13. So I'm going to set myself a 1 minute stopwatch starting from now, and number 13, Venice, Italy. If you didn't know this before, if you were ever planning to go on a skate trip to Venice, or if you were just planning to go to Venice and bring your skateboard, don't bother. It's 100% completely illegal there. Not just skateboarding though, so we're not discriminated against. It's also illegal to ride a scooter, to ride a bicycle. Anything on the city of Venice is illegal if it has wheels on it. You can't drive a car. All the taxis are boats. All the Ubers are boats. So if you're ever thinking about going there, cross that one off the list. To be honest, Venice, while it's a beautiful city in itself and it's super interesting history, super interesting architecture, definitely not one that you want to go skating in. While there are little parts outside of the city that you can skate on, little skate parks and whatnot, the actual city itself, don't even bother taking the skateboard because it's 100% not worth it. We've got 12 more cities to go through until we get to the best city for skating in Europe, full stop. And we've got some honorable mentions just before that. So if your city's not in here, maybe I just haven't been there yet. Let's get to number 12. All right, number 12. Budapest, Hungary. Now, I went here in 2022, and when I went there, the skate parks were pretty few and far between. There was one main one in the city, right in the city center, that was pretty damn good, but it was very, very awkward and not beginner friendly whatsoever. So if you're not like a more upper level to advanced skateboarder, it's really not going to be the one for you. There are a few outside of the city, like there's a DIY skate park that I found really good, and surprisingly enough, that was one of my first ever like viewer interactions, and doing that like 1,000 miles from home surprised the hell out of me. But anyway, that's not anything to do with it. Street skateboarding, pretty good there. Like there's some good street spots, some good stair sets, some good ledges and whatnot. The actual city for skateboarding, I think it's pretty low tier compared to all the other places we've been to on this list. One thing I will say though, is that I believe they've actually built, in fact, I know they've built a massive like world skate park because they recently had a big competition there. And from what I've seen, it looks pretty good. But again, I don't think it's very beginner friendly. So take that with a grain of salt. On to the next one. Right, number 11, Lyon, France. Now, we had originally planned to go to Paris, but ended up ourselves in Lyon by quite a happy accident, I might add. When it comes to skate parks in Lyon, there's some good ones. I don't think there's one massive one, at least not that I can remember. I was quite injured when we went there, so we didn't fully explore it completely. But from what I saw, there were some really nice skate parks. There was one that was pretty much all mani pads and ledges of all different levels, kind of like an art installation of platforms. There was another one that, if you ever watch my short, The Valley of a Thousand Nips with the red bumps, that's in Lyon, France. Definitely worth a little carve on. I saw some rollerbladers there while I was there enjoying that one. When it comes to street, there's a bunch of slappy curbs, a bunch of other little bits and bobs around, but I didn't fully explore the street. But there is a skate shop there called Wall Street Skate Shop that is actually a great place. Some great guys. They sorted me out with everything I needed while I was there. So if you're ever in the city of Lyon, check that out. They also have a mini ramp inside the shop, so can't really go wrong with that. Even if it's wet, there's somewhere to skate. To be honest, when it comes to Lyon, France, there's plenty there that I didn't yet explore, so might be worth a trip regardless, but definitely some decent skate spots. But let's move on. Next, you've got one from my home country. Now, this is Manchester, England. I actually loved Manchester. One of the greatest places to skate, some of the nicest people, and my most viral video I've ever made. Have you ever seen the one where I'm doing a tray flip outside like a big building and someone goes, do a pop shove? I do the pop shove and he goes, oh, so nice. I'll play the clip here. Pop shove. But yeah, that happened in Manchester outside a uni building, and no, it wasn't fake for some of the comments that think it was. Complete happenstance. But I'm getting off topic. Skate spots, Project MCR, an under the bridge skate park that's actually really cool, and they do great lessons there, all different kinds of like different nights for different people. The Greystone Action Sports, the giant indoor skate park, has a foam pit, has a trampoline that you can skate, wall climbing, all kinds of stuff. Highly recommend that. Street, plenty of it in Manchester. There's a great DIY as well that I forget the name of, but I'll put it on screen now. And also some great skaters, some great people. I really, really loved Manchester. If you're ever in the UK and you're outside of London, definitely worth checking out. Next up, we've got Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Now, there's so much to say about Amsterdam, amazing city. If you're into the devil's lettuce, definitely a place you want to be visiting because they've got great skate spots, be that with Noord skate park, the big indoor skate park. They've got Marnix Bowl, which is a really great outside pool that has a little bit of a street section around the outside, another great bowl. You've got the hotel skate park, a little bit expensive, which by the way, I know I called the video the hotel skate park. It is just a mini ramp and a rail inside of a hotel room on top of a boat. Definitely a great place to visit, but if you visit in the winter, it's like 5 times cheaper than in the summer, so definitely keep that in mind. What else do we have in Amsterdam? You've got the skateboard cafe, which is like a big bar with a giant mini ramp in the back. You've got all kinds of other stuff in Amsterdam, some good street spots. There's Olympiaplein, which is a great skate park. You've got Zeeburg. Oh my God, there's so much in Amsterdam I've completely forgotten until I've just brought it up now. There is so much there. Definitely worth checking it out. I've got a video touring the street spots if you want to see where they are, and I've got a video on some of the best skate parks there, so you can check that out if you want to. On to the next. Next up, we've got Scotland. Now, Glasgow is where we actually just got back from last week, but this definitely deserves a place as number 8 on the list. So much there, so much history, so much cool stuff. You've got the Transport Museum, which I think I've put the video out like literally a few days ago when this one came out. You've got Livingston Skate Park with the giant full pipe, so much history there. And you've got all kinds of like really crappy, terrible skate parks that also need a bit of a shout out because they're quite funny. And if you're into that kind of thing like I am, they're hilarious to see. Like some of the ones that we went to, they're all in one of the videos that I previously uploaded like last week, which I'll link below and put some clips on screen now. Don't forget about the Loading Bay as well, a great indoor skate park, one of the best out there. I would highly recommend visiting that. If you're ever in Glasgow, Transport Museum, Loading Bay, Livingston Skate Park, top 3 places you need to visit without a doubt. When it comes to street, I was given a lot of suggestions, but it was too icy, so we're going to go back in spring and do those. But when it comes to the spots, Glasgow's one we need to go to. Next up, we have Lisbon, Portugal. Now, this one I have a bit of a love-hate relationship. When it comes to the skate parks, when it comes to the people, absolutely incredible. The skate park in the mountainside, when it comes to the video we just did recently with the best versus worst parks, the one in the mountainside was absolutely incredible. I love that park. The one under the bridge, I believe it was called Campolide, that one was also extremely good. The only gripe that I have with Portugal is how hard it is to get from A to B if you're not using an Uber. Bear in mind, right, the Ubers are super cheap, so definitely worth it if you can get one. But when we went to the skate park up in the mountainside, we got stuck up there and the buses wouldn't accept card, they wouldn't accept notes, and we didn't have any change. So we got stuck in the mountain and had to walk back down. There was no road to walk back down, so we literally was walking down across the motorway with like 70-mile-an-hour cars driving past us, and we were literally on the road walking. So when it comes to Lisbon, the skate parks are great, but getting around, not quite so much. Number 6, London, UK. Now, I have such a love-hate relationship with London. To be honest though, it is mostly loved. Like, I've never really had any issues, despite the reputation London gets for being super dangerous. I've skated street there. The people that walk past stop and watch. I've never been attacked by the police. I've never had any police kick me out of any spot, to be honest. So it's not actually as bad as what people might make it out to be. Skate parks there are great, and there's so many of them. Notable ones would be Bay 66, the new park at Fenhurst Park or something like that. I'll have to put the details on screen, sorry, because I forget the exact name. But there are some incredible skate parks around London. There's the one with all the red bumps that I'm forgetting, Stockwell, that's it, another great one. And oh, there's just so many, man. If you're going to London, definitely check out all the skate parks on like a Google list and then write down which ones you want. And the great thing about that as well is if you use the tubes, you can get around quite easily and see almost all of them in like a day, 2 days, something like that. And when it comes to street spots, you've got a big selection as well. So definitely a great place to skate. All right, number 5, Geneva, Switzerland. Now, there's so many great things about Geneva. The skateboard museum is there with my friend Jim, who designed our most recent escapism graphic. That place, incredible. He has such an overwhelming depth of knowledge of the skateboard scene. Worth checking out. Skate parks, so many good ones there. You've got the one that's built into the side of the mountain. You've got La Praille or La Praille. I forget how you pronounce it because they mostly speak French there. Everyone can speak English too. So it's not going to be like you're stuck for how to speak to people. There's so many good skate parks. There's the one that's under the motorway bridge as well. Super smooth. Only thing about that one is if you fall, you get extremely dirty. The selection of places there are great, and the weather is also incredible in Switzerland, and the scenery around the skate parks, like the giant mountains and stuff like that. The only gripe I've got with it is it's extremely expensive. Like regular day-to-day stuff like teas, coffees, like I remember for a double espresso, it's normally like £2.50 here or like $3. It was £7 to £8 there, so like triple the price. So definitely keep in consideration the price, but skate scene, optimal. Number 4, our first Spanish location on this list, which we're going to be seeing a little bit more of, that is Palma de Mallorca. Now, my brother actually lives here. He's a citizen of Palma, and the city, incredible. The people there love street skateboarding. You're never going to come into a place in Spain where you're skating the street and people are telling you to get out or having a go at you for no reason. People love it there. The weather, obviously incredible. It's Spain. Beaches, everything's super cheap as well compared to most places in Europe and especially in England. You've got all kinds of good street spots where it comes to big stair sets, ledges, marble ledges, rails, like this blue tiled bank that I believe was actually in Skate Free as well as in Palma. So many skate shops, such a great scene, some big skate parks like Sarriera. The island itself is actually quite small. I remember we did a video that we did every skate park in the island in one day when my brother drove me around. Absolutely love that video. It did get barely any views because it was quite early on in our career, but that doesn't matter. It's a great video. We saw so many skate parks. It's just such a great place to skate in my opinion. Number 3, one of my most recent ones as well, Vienna, Austria. Now, when I went here, I didn't expect this one to be anywhere near as good as it was. Like the streets and like the pathways, they're huge. They're absolutely huge, super smooth. There's water fountains everywhere. The street skateboarding is plentiful. There's so many good stair sets and stuff. You'll find that in America, I believe, and in the UK, there are a lot of skate spots that have been like capped off with like bumps before and after stairs. In Europe, this just doesn't happen. And Vienna is certainly one of the best places for street skating. You've got some great skate parks there. I did a bad versus good skate park series there. That's one of the most popular videos on this channel, I believe. So definitely worth checking out. One of my favorite spots was the skate park that was under the bridge that had the nice little stair set and mani pad. I believe I did one of my favorite tricks ever at that skate park. It was the kickflip mani tray flip out. Highly recommend Vienna. And again, the weather is absolutely top notch. It was like 35 degrees the entire time we were there, so I would recommend Vienna very, very highly. Number 2 and number 1, probably the hardest little toss-up I've ever had. So number 2 is Copenhagen, Denmark. This place, for street skating especially, incredible. The biggest skate park I've ever been to with the giant vert ramp and the huge wave ramp. Like, these are some of the gnarliest things I've ever seen in skate parks. There's just everything you could possibly need. When it comes to street, you've got like spots that were literally built into the architecture of the city for skateboarders to use, which is something we rarely ever see, because they have this like big event called the Copenhagen Open, where it's just a big street skating event that goes around the city and it changes every year. So it's a great place to visit for the culture of skateboarding and just to go see the spots. There's so many of them. I did a street skating video where one of the locals toured us around and gave us some history of the spots. So I'd go watch that before you go there. And I also did a best versus worst skate park video of Copenhagen too. The worst one, obviously, you don't really care about that one. It's just a bit of fun to see that one. But the best one, my God, it's top tier. Like, there's not really much. I think when it comes to skate parks, that's the best one I've ever been to in my entire life. Right, before we get into my number 1 best pick, our honorable mentions. We've got Florence, Italy, a great place, great people. The skate parks were okay, like it was a good spot. I wouldn't quite put it in this list, but it was still a nice place to visit. We've got Rome, Italy, actually probably a bit higher up than Florence. They've got some good parks there. They've even got a world skate park right next to the Colosseum. So if you're into history and stuff, highly recommend going there, even if it's even not for skateboarding. Like, I would definitely recommend Rome outside of the skateboarding world regardless. You need to visit that Colosseum and just see it in person. We've got Nottingham, another great one for street spots and stuff. You've got the tram station spot. You've got a bunch of other skate parks around there, and you've also got Roller Snakes, which is a great company. You should go check them out, and they've got a skate park outside. And finally, for the honorable mentions, I've got Folkestone. This is like a seaside town in the UK on the south coast, and it has that skate park. You've probably seen my video on it, where it's 3 stories. It costs like £20 million to build. And I'll clear up some things right now if you're wondering why it costs £20 million. It has 3 floors, and the second floor has giant concrete pools built into it. Imagine building a concrete pool on top of a building. Crazy. But yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Let's get to number one. Right, my number one city to skate worldwide, second to none. If you didn't guess it already, you probably should have. It's Barcelona. There's a reason why so many skateboarders repeatedly go back to Barcelona. It's because the cities are smooth, the streets are great, there's so many spots. The people love the skateboard culture. You've got skate shops here, there, and everywhere. You've got a bar with a literal pool, a skate pool in the background with a wall ride that you can skate while you're having a drink. You've got so many spots. There's Parallel, there's Macba, which is like one of the most famous spots worldwide. The giant free block there is huge, quite difficult to skate. I did do a trick down it before, but it's definitely one that's a lot harder to skate in person than it looks like in videos. Oh, what else is there in Barcelona? There's so much. You've got Marbella skate park right next to the beach. You've got Picnic DIY, which is one of the best DIY skate parks I've ever been to. You've got Bilboa, which is another great DIY. You've got such a great skate community in Barcelona. You can smoke there if you're into that as well. There's just an unlimited amount of things to do in the city, and it's just beautiful. Like, I love the Spanish architecture, man. Like, I'm ranting on about this one a bit longer than I would for the other ones because it's just so good. If you've never been to Barcelona, put that on the list ASAP. But those are my top 13 places to skate in the world so far. Let me know what city you want me to visit next, and I'll see you in the next one.